What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we have our very first episode of the Chris and Tim's podcast. We have Chris over from Jeris Sportstakes. Go over there and subscribe if you haven't already. But welcome to the channel, Chris. We've heard your voice, but I think this is the first time we've seen your face on the channel. So,
yes, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing today?
What's going on? I'm doing straight. I'm doing great.
Yeah. You just dropped a video earlier today, right?
Yeah.
What was that one on?
On what's his name?
Carr?
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Traded to the Washington football team. Notice it's an exclamation point and question mark.
So it's not clickbait.
To bring y'all in, but it's also to let y'all know I'm fooling y'all, but I'm also telling the truth at the same time. So it's like a twist. There
you go. Fair enough. Yeah, you did the same thing with the Deshaun Watson, you said.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Trashford.
A.K.A. Trashford. Yeah, A.K.A. Trashford.
True. All right, let's see here. Make sure I get the live stream up. Let's see if anybody's popped in yet. No, not yet. That's okay. Also, I want to pop up the thing here. All right. We're good? Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hop right into the topics of the day. And first up, we're going to go ahead and recap what we think of the last two championship games, starting with the Packers and Bucks. And there's been a lot of talk going around. Who do you put the blame on? Is it on Aaron Rodgers or is it on the coaching staff?
I said it was on everybody, not just the coaching staff. Aaron Rodgers, he had 4 cracks at the end zone. Well, basically 3 cracks at the end zone. The third time, he should have ran, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. So I blame that on Aaron Rodgers' fault. And I'm thinking that Matt LaFleur's logic was, you had 3 cracks at it, you didn't get it to me. Why try 4th? So let's kick the field goal. And our defense been playing great all year long. I mean, not all year long, all game long. Why not put our defense out there? We got a 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. Why not put our defense out there, get a stop, give Aaron Rodgers the ball back, and go down there, score a touchdown, and win the game? Versus going down there, score a touchdown, possibly not even getting the 2-point conversion. That's why I think Matt LaFleur's logic was.
Yeah, well, that logic's trash. Okay, to pull a word from you, okay? Look, you got to go for the end zone there because either way, you need a touchdown. Whether you need a touchdown to win the game or a touchdown to tie the game, either way, you're going to need a touchdown. So going for the field goal was terrible. Yes, Aaron Rodgers definitely should have ran that ball. 100%. There's no doubt about it. He had so much green grass, and he decided to throw it into double coverage to Davante Adams. But at the same time, why is Davante Adams in the slot every single play down in the red zone? They ran that one where he's wide open. He dropped the touchdown pass, but put him out there one-on-one with Davante Adams. Carlton Davis. Why is he in the slot?
Because that's the mismatch. I'm guessing that's the mismatch that you have. And if you think that if you allow Davante Adams to draw attention with the linebackers in the corner and maybe even the safeties, maybe you can get Lazard or Robert Tonyan some way somehow. Maybe that was the logic in it. I put him in the slot so much.
I guess, but at the same time, it made it so much easier to double team him. Like they were just able to bracket him off, and he had nowhere to go. He was absolutely sometimes triple teamed inside because they had the corner on him, inside linebacker playing the zone, and the safety over top. Where in that red zone, he had nowhere to go. Where earlier in the game, yes, he dropped the touchdown pass, but he just destroyed Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis can't cover Davante Adams. And so I don't know why the coaching staff did that. So I put a lot of this game, to answer the question that I originally asked, on the coaching staff. There's so many things that they did that I think that caused them to lose this game. Like, of course, the play before the half, we'll get into that. Of course, the decision to go for field goal, decision to put Davante Adams in the slot. I'm so frustrated with how that offense played. Their defense actually played well in the second half. They got 3 interceptions, I think, all in the second half. So, but at the same time, you knew that you weren't going to get another pick at the last drive because they're going to run the ball now. Leonard Fournette's going to take over, and that beast offensive line that they have in Tampa. So,
but you also have to look at that. The game, technically speaking, how Matt LaFleur called it was perfect, but it came down to a third down. Stupid call that should have never been made. It came down to that. So if you really think about it, Matt LaFleur was doing a great job at that particular point of saying, kick the field goal, but they bailed him out with a flag.
Oh, we cannot pretend that wasn't a flag. We cannot pretend that wasn't a flag. That jersey was 2 feet off his body.
They let him play all day, though.
Dude, that one was so bad.
So, like, come on. I wouldn't have called that. They should just let it go.
Yes, they should have called it with the Lazard. I think it was more of a angle thing where the back judge couldn't see the angle that he could clearly see on that last play of the game. I mean, you can't miss it. The white jersey is pulled about literally, I'm not even going to exaggerate, I think it's 14 inches off his body. Like, it was so far.
I mean, even if he, I don't think the ball was catchable anyway.
That might be a fair argument. There may be a fair, but either way, it's holding. But either way, it's defensive holding, automatic first down. Whether it's pass interference or not, he's holding him during his route.
I mean, you can say, okay, let's if they get the ball back, the call was great. If they don't get the ball back like they didn't, the call was bad. So I mean, you went, it's 50-50.
Either way,
if they would have got the ball back and scored, everybody would be like, Matt LaFleur is a genius. Everybody would say he's a genius. That was the smartest move.
Right.
But now he didn't.
But now you had to go for the onside kick, right? They ended up going for an onside kick at the end? No, they must have squibbed it?
No. I don't think they went for an onside kick. I think they just ran the ball and nailed it.
Right. But even if you fail.
They kicked it off. Right.
Yeah, they kicked it off. So, but even if you fail.
Kick.
Yeah, I don't think they did either now that I think about it stronger. I think they must have been a regular kick. But either way, if you don't get it, now they're on their 8-yard line. Right? So if you get a 3 and out, they punt it out, and you get it at the 50-yard line or 45-yard line if you get that 3 and out. When you kick it off, they start on their 25. Now they're punting it back to your 30 or 35-yard line.
That 2-point conversion is what Matt LaFleur looked at. Like, maybe if they didn't need a 2-point conversion, he'd probably be like, all right, fine. Well, I think that 2-point conversion was just like, that's going to be hard to get because they St. Brown dropped with conversion early on in the game, which cost them.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
They get that. I mean, you can truly say, just go ahead and just try to go for it, and they didn't do it. But I think that St. Brown thing, he's like, you know what, let me just get these 3 points, and if we score a touchdown, we automatically win the game. They can't go back down the field because now we wasted the 2 in the morning. We wasted all our timeouts, and they probably have at most they probably would have had, because they probably would have just drained the whole clock. Probably like 10 seconds, maybe 15 at best.
If you were able to get the quick 3 and out, you would have had like just under 2 minutes. If you were able to get the quick 3 and out. If they got the first down, which they ended up doing, then one first down, I think, brought it down to like 15 seconds, and then 2 first downs iced it. For what I believe would happen. But yeah, all right. Well, okay, we disagree on that one. You think it was a good call. I think it was a bad call. That's okay. But
I think it was. I don't think it was a bad call.
So not necessarily good, but you're indifferent.
It turned out not to be the right call because of.
Okay, so 50-50 call, and he just chose one, not necessarily a bad one, but he chose the wrong one in the situation, but you couldn't know that ahead of time, is your thoughts. Okay. But let's go to one that we both disagree was absolutely egregious. But we kind of disagree who to put the blame on, I think. Right? Okay. Which is that play before the half. Kevin King not covering the sideline or the end zone. It was the most egregious defensive play I've ever seen, especially in a playoff game. But go ahead.
It's 70-30.
70-30.
I mean, I'm almost tempted to say 60-40 because Kevin King was trash the whole game. That's the only player they targeted. He was trash. So I'll give, because that was a bad play call, because maybe you even do prevent there. And it's whatever. Either way, one way or the other, I think they still was in field goal range anyway. So the play call was bad, and Kevin King's coverage was bad.
It was egregious.
If you watch the play, he's just looking back at Tom Brady the whole time, and Scotty Miller just run past. I'm like, what are you doing? Just go get the man. Right. Focus on the man, not Tom.
Right, but it made sense in a sense, like what his thought process is, because he thinks that route is going to get cut off at some point to go to the sideline. Because it looked like they were just trying to get an easier field goal because I think it had like a 57-yard field goal. So if you got like a 10-yard out, now you're looking at a 45-ish field goal instead. And that's what it looked like they were going to try to do. But why they didn't cover the sidelines is beyond me because you've seen it before. I know you have, where you have two corners on the one sideline, the other two corners on the other sideline, three deep safeties, linebackers play back, and you rush three. If they catch the ball in the middle, you tackle them, half is over because they had no timeouts. I have no clue why they didn't run that defense. That's not a secret. That's not like they had to come up with it on the spot. That's a well-known situation in the NFL. But
I agree.
That's my thoughts on that. But let's see. The half before. Yes. Tom Brady, though, so getting into a little bit of Tom Brady. So he goes to his 10th Super Bowl, but he did not get here like on his own in a sense because he ended up throwing 3 picks.
There we go. That's all I wanted. He didn't get hit on his own. There we go.
You know that I'm saying that team is the most stacked team I've seen in a long time. This team is ridiculously stacked. Oh, it's so stacked. You can't say it was not stacked.
They had some talent there, but some of their talent to me is questionable, like Chris Godwin. And Mike Evans is questionable to me as well after watching this season.
Mike Evans is not somebody that separates. He's just a 6'5" monster that goes and gets it over people.
Even if you look at that game, they threw him a pass. He just dropped it, and it was right there. It was deep on the right sideline. Tom Brady threw a perfect pass, and it went off his fingertips. He didn't even try to jump for it. He didn't extend. He didn't do anything.
I'm trying to remember that exact play.
And I was just like, how you dropped it? It's plays like that. It's just like, I mean, come on, Mike. And Mike struggles against good corners as well. It's just like
he's a bigger Des Bryant. He's a bigger Des Bryant. Somebody that doesn't separate very well, but they're just able to go. They're just bigger than you, and they go over top of you and get it. That's what Mike Evans is. Chris Godwin's a much better route runner, much better at getting open.
He just can't catch. He just can't catch.
He had that nice deep pass though on Savage though.
That was terrible.
Oh, it was great.
That should have been an interception.
Nah,
he played it, so he had poor technique. I mean, that was just terrible. If that's Minka, if that's Tyrann Mathieu, that's an interception easily.
Interesting.
To me, if Darnell Savage catch that pick, that's a great turning point in the game right there. Because
that was in the first half.
Wasn't it like a third? Was that third down?
I don't remember what down it was now.
Because he just had dropped one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he dropped one the very play before that. He dropped one, and then he made that catch. So it may have been third down.
That was third down, and you let him do that, and you had perfect position, but you played it so terribly.
It's true.
So I mean, they had a lot of missed opportunities in that game.
For sure. All right, before we get into the Chiefs and Bills, let's see what you guys are saying. Yep, we started a podcast. Hassan said that. Mitchell said Brady played horrible and still won. 3 picks, should not win a game. The Pack had momentum. Why kick? Yep, completely agree there. They're getting into some car conversations. We'll get into that later. The Bucs are going to fall apart after Brady retires, just like the Broncos did when Manning retired. I'd have to think about that more, of what happened exactly when Peyton Manning retired. I don't know. Do you remember exactly what happened after the Peyton Manning retired? I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of what else happened. I know they lost to Marcus Ware. They lost Wolf. They lost Doomerville, I believe. They lost a lot of their defense as well.
They had a lot of good players. I don't remember exactly who they lost though. That's a good point.
But interesting prediction by Lante Evans. Hassan lastly says Ronald Jones runs hard and not very fast. I mean, he does run extremely hard. I agree with that. But Leonard Fournette's better.
Ronald Jones, he disappointed me.
He disappointed you.
He disappointed me because that to me that's just unacceptable what he did. And the
he
fact
was bad.
That he didn't show up, he choked. He choked.
But they had Leonard Fournette to fall back on, and he actually ran pretty well. which is why I say their team
Oh, you
is so
said Ronald
stacked.
Jones. Oh, I just thought you was talking about Aaron Jones. Okay.
No. Ronald Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones ended up getting
Oh,
benched early in the first half after his second fumble, the one that he lost. That turned into another touchdown. Yeah, he got benched.
That was the biggest thing in the game. And I think they should have gave AJ Dillon more carries. He was running people over.
Yeah, Jason Williams is not it. I don't know why
he.
he gets so many carries over there.
Who?
Jason Williams. I'm not a fan of Jason Williams. I don't know why he gets so many carries. AJ Dillon definitely should have got more. I agree.
Running people over.
DRG
he's like a better Peyton Barber.
Ronald Jones?
Yep.
That's probably a fair comparison.
AJ Dillon.
Oh, AJ Dillon. Interesting. He is a bigger body dude. DRG says the duo we needed.
DRG to go.
All right, now we'll go ahead and move into the AFC Championship game. All right, did the Chiefs win or the Bills lose? They had a 9-0 lead.
Great question.
Who did it more? Did the Chiefs win or the Bills lose?
I'm going to always say the Bills lost because it's too many times when NFL teams play the Chiefs, they don't make any adjustments. What I would do, listen, they got a lot of weapons, but you're not going to have Tyreek and you're not going to have Travis. I don't care if I got a triple coverage, both of them.
And they destroyed
everybody else beat me. Cool. But the thing about me is I'm like, they go as Travis go and as Tyreek go. If Travis and Tyreek is not having good games, they're going to be looking clueless.
Yeah, they got Pringle and Hardman. Yeah, McCole Hardman and Pringle.
Make those guys be what everybody thinks they are. Force them to be the number one, the number two, the number three. But don't let Travis Kelce and Tyreek, they let them do whatever he want. And they don't change no coverage. They don't do anything. And to me, that's just terrible. I think the Bills lost the game. And I mean, Josh, I think their game plan on offense was terrible. Their offense should be able to do whatever they want.
Stephon Diggs got shut down.
Freeland, I mean, that's just unacceptable. He dropped the pass in the middle of the field, which he should have caught to keep the drive moving.
That's true.
I don't understand it. I mean, they didn't. Josh, I can't put too much on Josh Allen because it's like, what did he really have? I think he needs another weapon outside of Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs, and they need a run game. Absolutely.
TJ Yeldon is an interesting back to me. He never gets an opportunity. He's always a backup, but he's really interesting to me as far as what can he do if you actually gave him the reins. I feel like he had a couple of moments in Jacksonville when Leonard Fournette went down. But I was just saying, I think he had a couple of opportunities in Jacksonville. When he got the start, he looked pretty good.
I don't think they see him as an every down back, though, because of his size. But I think he'll be a Darren Sproles, a J.D. McKissick.
Is he that small?
Like that.
Is he that small?
I think so.
Maybe he is. I don't know. You know what? I'll look that up real quick. But go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, he can be Darren Sproles, J.D. McKissick. You need a third down. You need a guy that can just get you.
No, TJ Yeldon's a big boy, actually.
6'1", 223.
He's actually a big dude. Like, he's a legit back.
He's only 27.
I like me some TJ Yeldon, dude.
But he's not gonna be your answer. He's 27 too. So I think maybe in a draft they go Najee Harris with their first rounder late. Maybe do something like that. But
yeah. But they gotta also beef up their defense. Their defense was not like they've had some high picks that didn't fail or that didn't work out.
Their secondary is fine. It's that front seven that they don't got no pay. Air Oliver, trade him. He is a bust. Get him out of there. They need another linebacker. They need a whole front seven. They need a lot. They just need a lot on that front seven because they can't stop anybody. And in all likelihood, it's going to be the Bills and Chiefs in the AFC Championship for many more years to come. So
I can definitely see that. I could definitely see that. So
and
my opinion is the Chiefs are just that good, though. I think they won the game, and Buffalo just didn't have enough to keep up with Pat Mahomes. And Pat Mahomes is so amazing, dude. He showed no signs of his concussion, so he cleared protocol and no signs of that. But he was limping around that field with that turf toe. I don't know if you noticed that, but he was definitely
Did he have
favoring.
turf toe?
Yeah, he had turf toe as well going into that game.
Wow.
That's why I don't know if you
mean,
watch it. He was like favoring it some.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the man, when you have a guy like him that can just with the arm talent, his arm strength, he doesn't have to do much. Like he can literally just flick it and get it to Ivan. He doesn't have to do much. He's that
With
amazing.
any footwork. Like his footwork doesn't
It's
like
just
it almost doesn't matter.
It's like that's him and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the only two guys that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I was just watching. I'm like, it's unfair because it's like nobody can get him off the field. And it just makes me mad. I'm like, y'all got to do something with this dude. But then he just pull a rabbit out of hat, and this is like dang, he's accurate every single time.
It is nuts. I love
and
me
it's,
some
you
Pat
know what?
Mahomes.
It's demoralizing. It's a demoralizer for the defense because you'll get a third and down, like we about to get off the field, and it's like he makes this, and that's what really hurts your defense even more because it's like we did all we could, and he still made this Houdini.
Yeah,
play.
3rd and 15 is basically a 3rd and 5. May as well be a 3rd and 5.
Basically, because he can get it
for sure. But I agree with you. You said it earlier. I think Josh Allen and the Bills have an extremely bright future. I think they need to draft their defense. Continue to beef up that defense. Their O-line is fantastic. I think they're like top 5 in the league. They have a couple of decent receivers. Obviously, I love Stephon Diggs. Cole Beasley's a nice slot. John Brown is like a little Steve Sims kind of player. He's not terrible.
No, he's not terrible.
Knox is not the worst tight end. He's not necessarily a big passing catching.
He dropped a big pass when they was driving down the field. That would have put them on the goal line. They could have scored a touchdown, but he dropped it. And it just plays like that where it's just like
you can't do those against the Chiefs. You can't do that against the Chiefs. No, you're gonna get beat.
When you look at this game, every time they got in the red zone, they settle for field goals. You can't settle for field goals against the Chiefs. I don't care if it's 4th down. You have to strike for a touchdown. You have to every single time. And the moment it was 9-0, y'all should have put the pedal to the metal. Yeah. And they didn't do that. They let the foot off the gas. They let Patrick Mahomes come out, do whatever he wants. Josh Allen, 3 and out. And just like, come on. And your only run game can't be from Josh Allen.
I think he was.
Where's Devin Singletary?
I think he may have led all carries combined. Like all the other carriers, he may have had more yards than them combined out of Josh Allen.
Can't have that. You can't have that. That's just ridiculous.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and get into your comments real quick after that one. They're saying that TJ Yeldon is a solid back. About to get a second ring, though, talking about Pat. Yep. Brashad Breeland is about to get the second ring.
Oh, man. He's actually playing pretty well, too, sadly.
Yep. He had a pick in the game against Tampa Bay earlier this year. Him and Tyrann Mathieu both had a pick in that one. So that'd be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, the Bills just took field goals, Hassan said. Ed Oliver's a big bust. Yeah, ask Anthony Johnson says, we trade Steven Sims for Hardman. Yeah, right. Like, they would take that. Nobody wants him.
They probably wouldn't.
All right. Well, that was fun. That's our wrap-up of the AFC and NFC championships. Now we're going to go ahead and get into a little bit of offseason. Next week, we'll get into more of the Super Bowl predictions and stuff like that. But this offseason is shaping up to be one for the ages, where potentially 15 quarterback moves could be made across the league. Like the perfect storm. You got people retiring. You got people that sucked it up, the bust draft picks. You got people that have gotten hurt that you don't know where they're going to end up. Yeah, Anthony Johnson says Huntley, rather. You got to go get Huntley. Yeah, where's he going to go? That's a big storyline this offseason. But no, we'll start with the one that was just in one of these championship games. Does Aaron Rodgers stay or go? Like, he's apparently wanting more money. There's arguments that they want to move to Jordan Love. What do you think?
You know, they saying, I heard like the GM came out and said they're not stupid enough to trade him. He's going to stay. Mm-hmm. But if I'm the organization, I'm moving on. Because how long I'm going to leave this guy on the bench? How long am I going to do it? 5 years? Because Aaron Rodgers got 5 more years left.
Potentially.
5-6 years more. So I'm just going to leave this guy over here to do nothing. When am I going to put him out there on the field? You can't just think it's gonna be a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers type deal, and he just comes out to be the next Aaron Rodgers. No, you have to give that guy some playing time. You have to give. Otherwise, you're just gonna be sitting there waiting for him to develop even longer. Because Aaron Rodgers basically already said he's not gonna help him or groom him. So what is he there for anyway? You draft him for no apparent reason. You were supposed to use that draft pick to help Aaron Rodgers get to the championship, and you didn't. You used it to help your future.
Well, they had their two best positions, arguably. Well, two of their three, if you don't include Devontae Adams. They drafted a quarterback and a running back. Their two best spots coming into this season. Like, why did you do that in first and second round if you're trying to make a playoff push?
Should have drafted somebody, a pass rusher. Could have drafted a pass rusher. Could have went tight end, maybe. But you got Tanya, but nobody knew Tanya was going to have this kind of year.
Right.
Maybe even another receiver to go pair up with Devontae. You probably could have got CeeDee Lamb. You going to trade up CeeDee Lamb, Devontae?
Yeah, I think they picked before
Justin Jefferson,
CeeDee Lamb. Justin Jefferson was definitely there. Justin Jefferson was definitely there.
That would have been, oh boy.
Yeah, but no, my prediction for Aaron Rodgers, he's going to stay in Green Bay because also they value him more than what people are going to want to pay because of his age. Nobody's going to send 3 first-round picks for a 37-year-old quarterback. That's just, but that is pretty much his value. Like, I can't really argue with them saying that he's not worth that. He's amazing.
I could, in a trade talk, I can argue that down. Like, he's older now. He already doesn't want to be with you. His contract, we might have to resign him. I can argue it down for probably 2 first-rounders, maybe.
Right, but if you're trading him and you go like Jordan Love's success, you could be seeing Aaron Rodgers in a playoffs if you trade him in the NFC, or you could see him in the Super Bowl. If you trade him to somebody like the Colts that have a very good chance, that have a chance to beat somebody like the Chiefs.
I don't think they care. Especially if this guy is really the next Patrick Mahomes. Because if he really is that, I would trade Aaron Rodgers in a heartbeat. Not because Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, they're almost identical, but this dude, if he had the same impact Patrick Mahomes had in his second year, and this would be the guy's first year, really starting, maybe his rookie year whenever he gets on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's right. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, I would be very interested in, if I'm the Packers GM, I really might think about trading him, though. The same time, like, even if you got a first and like a late round pick, you open up cap space, you move on to the next Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love potentially. You have an extra draft pick in the first round to help beef up the team. Like, there's actually a really good argument that they should move on.
2 first rounders. You can get a pass rusher and you can get another receiver, and you still you're still a Super Bowl caliber team. If you use the rest of your draft picks to beef up that defense at whatever cap space you have.
Yeah, if Jordan Love hits, you're definitely a Super Bowl contender. If not a favorite coming out of the NFC.
Is he? Definitely.
So, it's interesting. Anthony Johnson says, if I'm the Packers GM, I would flirt around with it and see what teams are offering, and same with Love. Yeah, I just don't think they can trade Love. They traded up to go get him last year. Like, not that they can't trade him, but it's just, not that there's not going to be value out there, but just logically speaking, like, you're in the championship window right now, but you decided that this guy is going to be your future, and then after one season you trade him away, you're being looked at like an idiot. Why didn't you use that pick to freaking get you to the championship this year? Yeah. Like, you kind of made your decision, like, you know, what is it? You made your bed, now you got to lie in it kind of thing. I don't think that you can.
I think you can get 2 first rounders for Jordan Love. Now what? I mean, all this basically can be forgiven. Now you got 3 first round picks.
Oh man, I don't know.
You can get, I think, a team like us.
If Miami trades both their first rounders for Jordan Love?
No chance. A third for Jordan, that's too much. If anything, I want to keep the third and trade the other first and probably next year's first. And then probably draft the receiver.
But Miami can't do that either, because then they would look stupid, because they had a chance to draft Jordan Love, but they chose Tua. Like, that would be an admittance of, man, I drafted the wrong guy.
Unless you trade Tua and get a first. There's plenty of ways you throw it around.
This is nuts.
That'd be crazy.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next quarterback that is in big discussions. The next best quarterback in the market, in my opinion. I don't really think it's an argument. Deshaun Watson. And I am going to be very honest. I don't know where the heck he's going to go. What's your sense? What's your sense?
To me, I'm going to break it down like this. The Jets makes no sense because you're essentially going from one bad team to the worst team. Though they got a lot of cap space, but why would you want to go to the Jets? They say he's like Robert Saleh. You never played for the guy. You never been around the guy. Why do you like him? Like, stuff like that is just dumb. Like, you go there to there. The Jets been trash basically for years now. Why are you going from one trash situation to another trash situation? And this doesn't make any sense. Then the Dolphins, I mean, are they going to leave Tua? Are they going to let Tua go? Really? I mean...
But if you're Houston, if you're Houston and you could get Tua, right? You get their second first-round pick, so you're not going to get the third overall, right? Like, maybe you could with Deshaun. I don't know.
Maybe.
But you're already trapped in maybe.
But you can't. Because if you get Tua, that third, you're going to probably use that third for Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. Like, you might not even want Tua. You might say keep Tua. They might have to find another trade partner for Tua.
But I'm drafted. If I'm Houston, all right, if I'm Houston, if I get Tua and I get the third overall pick, I'm taking that left tackle with number 3.
They got too many holes to fill.
But I'm taking that left tackle. That left tackle's going to... you could move Larry Tunsil over to the right tackle, put him at left tackle.
Who they got to throw to?
Yeah, I mean, they still have, Brandon Cooks? Well, Will Fuller... where's Will Fuller going to end up? That's somebody that I would like the Skins to get. He's really, really good. But it's... Right. But where was Will Fuller going to end up? I don't know. Kiki Cootie's okay. Not great, but okay.
I mean, you look at the I'm hearing the Niners really can't do anything. They will have to give up Nick Bosa. I think they'll be out of their mind to do that for Deshaun. I don't care. But it's like, okay, they out the conversation. The Patriots really have no chance. Why would he want to go there? So it's like 4 teams off the board. Like, who's left? Who's really left for him? Who else have the prerequisite pieces to actually go out and get him? That even if you take that away from, even if you haul it, you still got a championship team that you have around him. And I think that's probably what the Texans are looking at, because whatever the Texans, they have to trade with a team that has everything that they want from top to bottom. Everything. Like, if they want offense, I can get this on offense. But mostly they're gonna probably want defense. And probably a whole lot of picks.
If I'm Houston, I'm not even so worried about maybe one player, but I want a haul of picks because we're in rebuild mode. We're gonna get a new coach, whether that be Eric Bieniemy or not, I don't know. But we're gonna get a new coach, and if we trade Deshaun Watson, we're in rebuild mode, and I would want to get a haul of picks ready to draft well in the next coming years and try to build around this guy.
Because if you want to go to the Niners, Nick Bosa.
If I'm Houston, I think I want to trade with Miami. I want to get Tua in that third.
Do you? Or do you want to draft your own quarterback instead of Tua? Because if you trade in Tua, it says you're not sold on him. You definitely wasn't sold on Tua, especially after the season. I'm sold on Tua, but are they? You have to develop him even more.
Well, you would have to go get a quarterback, or you would have to go get a coach that wants to develop Tua. So you'd have to talk to somebody. Like, maybe that's what they're waiting for, is like, you know what? Hey, we have an opportunity to go trade from Miami for Tua with Deshaun Watson, get some load of picks, but I need you to be on board with Tua. And so they're waiting on that coach to be like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely take Tua. I love what Tua showed in Alabama.
Be like, what if Tua didn't pan out for them? And then you're just sitting there like, we could have took Zach Wilson. We could have took Justin Fields. We could have took, Trey Lance. We could have took anybody else. So I really don't think they want to. I think they just want the pick who they want at quarterback, if anything.
But I can't just trade Deshaun Watson to get back my pick that I already traded to them.
They're gonna have to do something.
There's so much intertwined here, and especially another intertwined thing is the Bears might come knocking. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know what they would offer. Be able to offer? Do they offer like somebody?
Offer Khalil Mack.
Maybe somebody like maybe a young
Eddie
Roquan
Jackson.
Smith. Maybe.
Then you're depleting your team. You're not a championship team at that point.
If you're the Bears, but the Bears missed out on him on another like early like when they traded up, they took Mitch. They could have had Deshaun Watson that same draft.
I just think Deshaun just knows whoever he goes to, the team is going to be depleted. And it's really about which team is not going to be that much depleted that I can go to. The Jets. If you want to go to the Jets
are interesting.
be my guest. You're not going to the championship within the next 5 years.
With Robert Saleh and with the cap space, depending on what they can get. AFC? I don't know. The Jets are AFC.
You got to go through Mahomes.
Well, they got to go for Buffalo just to win their division.
Even Buffalo. So, I mean, that's just dumb. Deshaun Watson, he's really just doing dumb stuff right now. He need to really, like, get a real suitor with a real chance and go there. That's what it's about right now, not the freaking Jets.
So I guess in that case, the next one would be the Colts. What do the Colts have to offer to go get him? They don't really have enough, though.
You have to kill them. They ain't got nothing on offense you want.
Well, they don't even have a pick you want. They have, like, pick number, 21?
23, maybe? 24?
It's in the 20s.
You want on their defense, you probably want what's the linebacker? Darius Leonard? You want to ask for him and probably DeForest Buckner.
Jeez.
And some picks. So now what you got?
Oh, God,
you got your front seven is depleted. So it's just like, come on. That's why I think a lot of people is going for Stafford.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I can go get Stafford and I won't be gutted at that much at all. If they just want a third and the first, okay, you can have it.
That's a great segue. So where's Matt Stafford going? Who's your feel for Matt Stafford?
He wants. What I'm hearing is he wants to go to the Colts.
Don't worry about it, AJ. Don't worry about it, AJ. No, go ahead.
I'm hearing he wants to go to the Colts. To be honest with you,
Matthew Stafford.
The Niners. I think it's going to be the Colts or the Patriots.
The Colts or the Patriots?
Colts or the Patriots. Yep.
So I'm hearing
because they want to get rid of Stephon Gilmore anyway, so
that could be interesting. And Lions definitely need a corner after the botchery is the dude from Ohio State.
I mean, maybe he can help and teach Jeff Okudah.
Jeff Okudah, yeah. Could be a much more interesting second corner over there in Detroit. But I'm hearing something with sneaky of the Broncos moving on from Drew Lock. And going to get Matthew Stafford because they have a really good defense. They have some young weapons.
Gordon.
Philip Lindsay. Actually, Philip Lindsay I think is a free agent. But Cortland Sutton.
Noah Fant. Jerry Jeudy. They just need a quarterback. They got to re-sign Justin Simmons, too, on that defense. If they don't, that's a huge hit because he's a top 5 safety.
Then they'll get Von Miller. They'll get Von Miller back from injury.
Von a free agent.
Is he a free agent? I don't know.
So he might roll out and try to go to somebody like Seattle or something like that and try to go for it. He may.
Yeah, I don't know.
It all depends on probably their quarterback position and who they pick. Maybe that's might tie into what he does.
All right. We don't have to go into everybody on this list, but there's definitely a lot of quarterbacks interesting. Let's see. What do you think Dallas keeps Dak?
They have to. I think Dak stays. Today Dak signed the contract with somebody. Not for a team, but like for some brand or something like that. So I don't know if he's probably looking to be signed for more, but they're gonna have to pay him what he wants. They don't have another choice because them losing throughout the whole year basically validated that you need me. You was trash without me. So now you gotta pay me, but they don't have the cap space.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to figure it out. But I think Dak stays.
I think an interesting opportunity for Tyrod Taylor to get one more opportunity would be the Bears. I think the Bears might be interested in Tyrod Taylor, and if they can't make a trade for one of those other quarterbacks.
If they do that, they're gonna have to take Mac Jones with the first pick. Because what we know about Tyrod Taylor, he gets his job taken by who? Rookies. So I say by week 5.
I would take Kyle Trask over Mac.
Well, Kyle Trask will be in there.
Yeah, I would take him over Mac. That'd be interesting. I agree with you that Derek Carr stays. I don't think anybody's trading for Derek Carr.
Yeah, nobody don't want that.
And I heard a crazy rumor. I don't know how true this is. A crazy rumor that the Bears are interested in Drew Brees.
That's dumb. First off, he's never played outside before. He has injuries, and you're playing in the cold. No. That's the dumbest thing. You've seen the last game he had was terrible.
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement. It's over. They don't even have any weapons. Allen Robinson's not coming back.
Is gone. They have.
You got what's that running back?
David Montgomery. Did they
That's
say
all
Tariq
you had.
Cohen? Tariq Cohen.
I mean, they don't have nothing. No, Drew Brees retired.
Komet, I think, is their tight end. Yeah, I don't even know who else they have on that. That's interesting.
That's terrible.
And then the lastly that I'll mention is Phillip Rivers officially announced he's going to retire. So no more Phillip Rivers in the league. And there's other ones that we could mention, like Jameis Winston, where does he go? Teddy Bridgewater, Cam Newton, Sam Darnold even. Does he get moved? Matt Ryan. I mean, there's so many.
About the whole situation. It's so many pieces that has to be moved before you can even get Deshaun out of here.
Right.
So you have to go choose a team that don't have a quarterback that has everything you want that won't be depleted. Those are your things.
Jets might be the best option for freaking Deshaun Watson. They have the cap space to sign a bunch. Maybe if they trade for Deshaun, they go get A-Rob and Kenny Galladay. They have the freaking space for it.
I say they should do that. I say they should do that when Trevor Lawrence and them when they had the first pick. I said go get Kenny Galladay and A-Rob, and then probably draft Najee Harris.
And then their offense is they got to have a running back right now. Frank Gore being their number one running back is ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. I guess Ty Johnson, the running back from Maryland, he's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more dynamic. But yeah, go get a Najee Harris or somebody in the second round that may fall to you. All right, that was the quarterback. Chris looks like he's gonna shop at a drift shop.
You say what? I look like I stopped. What?
Gonna shop at a drift shop.
Drift shop. I never even heard of that.
I don't know what he's talking about either. Bob Ester's here. What's up, Bob? Kevin has joined. Let's be a little nicer, Kevin. Come on, Kevin. I know you're very passionate about what you believe and everything, but let's be a little kinder.
Championship contending quarterback.
Spoiled is here. Welcome, Spoiled. AJ Breeze isn't the same outside. He is inside the Saints dome. Yeah, I don't actually think it's going to happen, but I heard that crazy rumor, and I just had to bring it up for Drew Brees.
I'm hearing Russell Wilson might be on his way out. That's something else to really watch for, because him and Pete Carroll is knocking heads right now about the offense.
Got another quarterback potential.
So Russell Wilson may be on the move.
Jimmy Garoppolo is another one that was mentioned. My gosh.
It's a lot of quarterbacks.
Alex Smith might retire. There's so many quarterbacks out there. Big Ben, what is Big Ben going to do?
They say he might sign a 1-year extension.
Who's that?
Ben, for 1 more year.
Oh, my goodness.
Dominic's
here. What's up, Dominic? Offensive is trash. I don't blame him. I don't know who he's not blaming, but I don't know. But, the Rams. I forgot Jared Goff.
They don't even want Jared Goff. Well, every time you hear them say, they be like, Jared Goff is our quarterback.
Who is going to keep their quarterback next year at this point?
It's just like Jared Goff maybe with the Niners.
I mean, are the Giants still sold on Daniel Jones? Do they make a crazy move?
He might be out the door.
There could be like 20 quarterbacks on the move.
Oh, my God.
That's gnarly. Great offseason potential. All right.
Can't wait.
Now, for us Skins fans, we're going to hop in to some off-season stuff for the Skins. And we'll start, of course, with the new GM hire. I don't know. Did you make a video on your channel about the GM hire?
No, I didn't. I didn't even want to talk about him.
You don't want to talk about him.
I think he's just worthless.
Apparently, Rivera is still in charge of everything football. So he has the final say, apparently, on everything. But go ahead and give us your thoughts on the higher of Martin Mayhew?
Like a lot of Skins fans are split 50-50. A lot of Skins fans say we got Martin Mayhew, and maybe it's because they want Stafford. But I'm of the mindset we gotta give these guys a chance because we don't know. We want Kyle Smith, but we don't know, so we gotta give him a chance. And me, I didn't care as much, but I'll only care if they just do some stupid stuff. But I'm not mad at the hire. I'm not. Ron has earned our trust after what he did this season. Because he could have said, "Screw it, we're just going to tank and we're going to keep it that way." Mm-hmm. After we see him develop Cameron Curl and Antonio Gibson, James Smith Williams, and all these other, he's earned our trust. He got us to a playoff his first season, and we almost won a playoff game. He's earned our trust. We got to give it to him. So the highest that he made, I'm not mad at it as of right now.
Got it.
To be announced.
All right. So I agree. Rivera's done great things here. Rivera's been a godsend for us. He's been fantastic. The culture change is so apparent. The coaching on the sideline is so much better. Like, they make adjustments. It's the second half team that we haven't had in forever is coming out of the second half, making adjustments, knowing what they want to do, knowing the strengths of their team, where they're weak. Like, we knew that we were weak in the secondary. So what do? We backed off.
Second.
What's that?
In the whole league. I said our secondary is probably one of the weakest, and we finished second in the whole league.
Exactly. So
that's crazy.
I love what Ron Rivera's done. But saying that, nobody's perfect. And I think this was a huge mistake, letting Kyle Smith out the door. Bob Esther asks, was Kyle Smith all that great? You got to understand in the draft, and I'm sure Chris does, but you got to understand that most teams don't hit even 50% of the time. Okay? Most teams hardly hit 25% of the time. There's a lot of drafts that don't even make, like, a lot of drafted players don't make this team. Or if they make the team, they don't play. We've had so many draft picks in the last 5 years, even late rounders, that have put quality minutes on the field. Yeah, has Troy Apke been good? Not really, but he's put a lot of freaking minutes on the field at the starting safety position. So that's just one example, but he has Cole Holcomb, Tim Settle, what's his name? Kelvin Harmon. He's got Cameron Curl. He's got Jimmy Moreland that's played a bunch in the slot. That's just defensively. You got the Chase Rouillet at center. I don't know. There's so much stuff. Of course, Logan Thomas actually wasn't a draft pick, but and then you have of course Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. Like, there's so many.
Kelvin Harmon.
And we've also hit basically on every single one of our first round picks, minus Dwayne Haskins, in the last 3-4 years, right? Like, but Dwayne Haskins wasn't his pick though. We all know freaking Dan Snyder stuck his hand over top of the coaching staff, over top of all the football people. Him and Bruce Allen decided we want Dwayne Haskins. And Jay Gruden didn't want him. Kyle Smith didn't want him. Nobody that knew football wanted Dwayne Haskins. But he went over. But besides that, of course, Chase Young was a give me. But Jonathan Allen fell to him. A lot of teams thought that he wasn't any good. He was garbage. They fell to him, and they were like, hey, we'll take him. He's been a fantastic leader, awesome player for us. Montez Sweat, after they made the debacle to draft Dwayne Haskins, we trade back in.
The first season, I hated Montez because the reason why my knock on him was he was stiff and he was too small. But the next year, he got bigger. He's not even stiff. Montez Sweat definitely stepped up.
Yep.
I like it because he was too small to be a DN last year. He was too small, entirely too small.
100%. And then, obviously, Daron Payne was another guy that a lot of people had projected falling a little bit later in the draft. Matt Ioannidis is a later pick as well. Yeah, so I love me some Kyle Smith in so many ways, and Martin Mayhew is not it. I hope he stays so far away from our draft board. He only hit on 4 out of 10 first-rounders. 40% on first-round picks. That is so... Like,
he drafted Julius Peppers, right?
No, that was the other guy. That was the other guy that's not our GM anymore. That Hurney guy. Hurney's the one that
Oh,
Hurney.
I'm still thinking that's the GM.
No. Mayhew is now our GM.
Man.
He was the draft pick for the Lions, or the GM for the Lions. He's the one that drafted Stafford and Ndamukong Suh, a first overall and a second overall. I mean, come on, those are give-me's. He didn't draft Calvin. Calvin was there like a year or two before him. But in the first round, he drafted Brandon Pettigrew, Nick Fairley, Eric Ebron.
Eric Ebron.
Like, and then most of his picks have go somewhere else before they're good. Like Larry Warford, the center for or the guard for the Saints, who's really good down in the Saints. He drafted him, but he didn't do well over there in the Lions. So his drafts and the 2011 draft is one of the worst drafts I've ever seen in my entire life. It's so he had 5 picks, and I believe 4 of them were in the first 3 rounds. He missed on all 5, like abysmally bad. Like these dudes are getting arrested off the field. Like these dudes are freaking like not playing well when they get on. One dude didn't even make the squad. Like it's so bad. Wait, who you mentioned my team? Larry Warford, spoiled. But don't forget he drafted a punter in the 4th. Or it was the 5th round, Kevin. But yes, he drafted a freaking punter in the 5th round.
I think Ron will be in charge of the draft.
I hope so. This guy apparently he's good at trades. I didn't look too much into the details of like, okay, how good is he in the trades?
If he was good at trades, we have a quarterback by now.
I don't know what the heck's going on with that either, but I think it's a huge mistake to let Kyle Smith out the door. And I don't know who is going to be in charge of our draft boards. I mean, Carolina was okay in the draft. So if Matt Hurney is the draft guy and Ron Rivera, they weren't great. They weren't bad. I mean, they did well in the first rounds. Like you said, Julius Peppers, Luke Kuechly, there's McCaffrey. Or actually, I don't think McCaffrey was one of his picks. But anyway, Thomas Davis was a first rounder who was pretty good in his prime. We got him at 37 years old, but he was pretty good. But yeah, so he's got some hits in the first round, much more than this Martin Mayhew guy. But anyway, I just think it's a big mistake to let this dude Kyle Smith, who's a young prodigy as a scout, like this guy is the real deal. I love this guy, but unfortunately he wants out. I don't know if it's official if he's out yet or not, but he apparently is out the door. All right, so we were talking about all those QBs. Now let's go ahead and get into which QB do you want and which QB do you think is most likely? Do you want to go first?
You can go.
All right. So I wanted to surprise you with one of these. Okay. And I don't know which one. It might be a little bit of both potentially, but I'll go with the one I'm actually kind of leaning towards wanting as long as we can get him under this contract. Okay? An 8-year deal, $240 million, $150 million guaranteed, $30 million a year for Dak Prescott.
Heck no. No chance.
The first 4 years.
So you're saying, so you extending it.
I want him on. That's how we get him. That's how we entice him. Is getting with a big payday of $150 million. No. Listen, here's how the cap space would work. The first 4 years, he'd be anywhere from about $20 million to $26 million, $27 million. That would be the first 4 years. After that, the next 2 years, so the 5th and 6th, will jump up to $40 million. So he'll be a heavy cap hit at year 5 and 6. And then it comes back down a little bit to around 32 to 35 the final 2 years.
What about Chase? What about Terry? What about Antonio? What about Cam Curl?
You got to pay them all. You do. But at the same time, you're not going to be that. You're not. Well, the 40 is going to hurt 5-6 years down.
But when the first 3, you got to think. The guys after that, Chase Young's still coming.
Yeah, well, Chase Young will have to be signed in about 3 years, 4 years. I don't know. It'll be interesting how it works out later down. But also, the cap is going to rise. But we're locked into a QB.
That's true.
We're going to be locked in for a QB for 8 seasons. We're not having we're not going to be in the QB carousel. Okay? We don't have to trade. We don't have to trade for a QB, so we'll still have all our picks. Okay? But we
would-
pay
I
a
would-
dude, and we cut Alex Smith, and we move on with Dak Prescott at a reasonably price for the team, but he becomes a $150 million man by signing a piece of paper. And just like they did to Pat Mahomes. So, who do I think is most likely? That's a fair question. I didn't think that one as much. I'm not going to lie, because I was really interested in this Dak Prescott. But who is the most likely quarterback coming down the pike for us? I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be one of these free agents that aren't very good. And we're going to ride with Taylor Heineke and maybe somebody like a Tyrod Taylor or somebody like that. We'll get that and then maybe draft a QB. If one falls to us, then we may draft like a Trey Lance if he falls, or we may draft a Trask in the second. I think they're going to draft a QB early, even if you don't like it. They may even draft a Mac Jones in the second, which would suck. I'm not excited about it, but I think that's the most likely. Is they're going to draft a relatively high QB. We're going to get a cheap free agent, whether that be Heineke and or a
Heineke.
Huh?
It's going to be Heineke.
Right. So maybe we roll with Heineke but it might be a little bit more experienced like guy like a Tyrod Taylor. God forbid a Mitch Trubisky. Don't do it to me, please. But somebody that's a little bit more low key. I don't think we're going to end up trading a bunch because I think the big ticket guys like a Matt Stafford, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, and Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott's going to get a franchise and trade if he doesn't sign with Dallas. So I don't think we're going to be able to sign him just as a free agent. I think that Dallas will franchise tag him and then try to deal him afterwards so they get some compensation for Dak. But that is my want now, which is subject to change. I've wanted a lot of different things. But that's my want now. And my most likely QB is I think it's going to be a cheap free agent with a draft pick.
My want is I want Deshaun, but the way he's going about things, I really don't want him because now he's showing me he has some kind of ego to him and a little bit of selfishness. So my want now, honestly, my want and the reality of it probably gonna be the same thing. I'll probably go with Heineke. That's my want right now. Because you're not going to get you're not getting Stafford. Deshaun, you're probably the only realistic team that can actually go get him and still be a championship contender. But Heineke makes the most sense because the guys love him. Whatever we do in free agency, we're going to be loaded on the offensive line. We're going to fill the holes we need to fill, and then you still keep your draft picks. And my want is for us to draft Jamie Newman in the 3rd or 4th round. Have them battle it out. You still keep your picks. Your cap space is fine. You can pay everybody. If you want to trade Settle, it's an extra pick that we can use to go fill another hole. If you want to trade Matt, you can do the same thing. Trade Matt, fill another hole. But everybody gets so caught up with, oh, we can't pay everybody. We could pay everybody. And we can always still have cap space. We could, if you put it that way. We don't need to go out and just make some splash and reach on a Derek Carr or a Tyrod Taylor. All you really doing is hindering yourself and putting yourself back and back and back because you're trying to patch. Taylor Heineke, I believe, can get us to an NFC Championship game with all the weapons we have. No sense of trying to reach on a quarterback, get all your draft picks cut, cap space looking terrible. Now you can't pay Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne. I think those would be my wants right about now. And your little contract for Taylor Heineke don't sound too bad because I look at it as if Alex Smith is going to retire, what that's going to add? $15 million in us?
Yes, 15 mil. Yep.
Then you take that $10 million that you're talking about. That's Heineke's, and what we had 45 left to play with,
something like that. Yep.
I mean, and Heineke though pans out. Jamie Newman, get your butt in here. I mean, I don't want Cal Allen's no bridge, and I might probably try to sign a Fitzpatrick, make him a third string, have him groom
Fitzmagic.
Jamie Newman.
Very interesting.
But my want and my reality is pretty much the same thing. I mean, I'm not reaching, but in what terms of what we want and what's going to actually happen, they want to make a big splash. That's what they said they're going to do. They're going to put all their chips out on the table, but they're going to have to look at what is it really going to cost you and what is it going to cost your team. Are you really going to sell out for 1 or 2 years Super Bowl and then you're screwed for the next 10 or 15 years because Jonathan Allen can't pay him, Deron can't pay Chase, maybe can't pay Terry. So it's just like, just continue to build, and you can keep all these players for as long as you want and get the production that you want out of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely making a move where I keep Chase, Montez, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. I'm trying to keep that D-line intact, at least those four. Matt Ioannidis might have to go on his second contract, but I want those four.
But
badly.
He's older than those guys. That's why I say if Matt got to go, then that's why I say if you want to get a Deshaun, Matt and settle and then the picks, because that makes more sense. If you want a Rodgers, they need a pass rush, Matt and settle and then picks. It makes sense to give up those guys. Jonathan Allen, he's young. I'm not giving him up. Deron Payne, I'm definitely not giving him up. It's like you can have settle and you can have Allen. I mean, not Allen, Matt and our picks, but I'm not going no further than that.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll just stand pat. Screw all of you. Go get me a bridge quarterback. Keep Heineke. Guys love him.
I love me some Heineke as well. My one concern with Heineke is will he be able to hold up for a full year? He's not the biggest guy. Well, he got hurt in one game. He came back in. I understand that, but he got hurt in one game.
He dove for 4 hours away.
Right, but why would he stop?
But because it's the playoffs. You can tell him, just get out of bounds. Bro, we right there at the goal line. We can just run it in. That's what you would tell him. But if it's the playoffs, we would want Heineke to do that again. We would want a quarterback to do that. And he has the heart. He has the passion. He's not scared. And I think that's the biggest thing for him because it's like, you know what? He got a shot now. The guys love him. The guys are backing him.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you another reason why Dak might want to sign here, though. If Dallas moves on, he's going to have a little bit of animosity potential, and he could face them twice a year coming up.
I want Dak. And I hated Dak. But we're not asking Dak to do anything.
But you don't like my contract?
The contract is that $40 million is what's getting me.
Well, it's not going to be until year 5 and 6 of the 8-year deal.
If I can get Dak on a 2-year, $60 million.
Jermaine says Tim loves Dak. Literally yesterday is the first time I ever wanted Dak until I thought of this deal. I thought of this deal, and I was like, you know what?
No 8 years, though.
8 years, $150 million, $240 total, $30 million a year.
And then if he takes us and wins us a Super Bowl, then I'll give him that.
No. That's not going to work. Now he's going to ask for $45 million a year.
Oh, then he goes away. No way.
It's only going to work right now because he just came off the injury. He's just coming off of a team that's not wanting him anymore. We're a team built that could go deep. Okay, it's right now is the perfect scenario for a Dak Prescott coming here to Washington. If you sign him to a 1-year deal, oh no. We're looking at $40 million a year minimum, and if we're lucky. Especially if he takes us to a Super Bowl. Forget it. We're looking at Pat Mahomes money for Dak Prescott.
We can let him walk.
I hear you.
And say Heineke is our guy for now. We got a Super Bowl.
Redskins 007 says Dak is too expensive and risky. See, okay. He's expensive if he wants $35 to $40 million a year. That's outrageous. You're not getting that. You're just what's up?
I think 35 is actually not that bad. 40 is pushing it.
$35 million a year. That means a couple of those years, if we sign them long term, are going to be like $45, $50 million because of how it breaks down per year.
I'll give him 5 years, 120, 150, $100 million guaranteed. some Amari Cooper ish.
I would put in my contract after I sign him with an 8-year deal that you cannot ask for a restructure until after 4 years or something like that, or until after 5 years. I would put something in my contract. Otherwise, you have to give half the money back you signed or something like that. Like, there would be a hefty penalty for opting out of a season demanding a restructure deal. Like, you can't pay somebody $150 million with a dude potentially that could walk out and say, no, now you have to pay me more. Well, screw, what the heck? I gave you $150 million 2 years ago.
No, sir.
Like, good grief. Dak is Donovan McNabb 2.0. He's got a much higher character, Dak does, than Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb apparently was...
It's our locker room, to be honest with you. He's a leader. The guys will love him. I mean, and the difference between us and Dallas, he don't have to look over his shoulder in the sense that the pressure that Dallas puts on him. We believe in him. You see Chase on the sideline pumping up, going out there with Heineke. He can feed off that. And I think maybe he might want to take a little $20 million fee. Shade $20 million off. Well, I mean, I want to go for it. And I think if they don't pay Dak and let Dak walk, Dak will stay in the division. He'll probably come to us probably for a 1-year deal to just kill them. I think they would do something like that. Right. I do.
I don't know, but that's my takes. We'll go ahead and hang out with you guys for a little bit. If you guys want to do some comments or any questions or any thoughts of whatever you guys want to do, we'll hang out for maybe 10, 15 minutes longer. But that is what we had on the itinerary, and that's also let us know what you guys think. This is obviously episode 1, so we're going to do this once a week on Wednesdays, around 8 o'clock every week. Go ahead and talk a bunch of different stuff. We may get into some more basketball topics later. Who knows, once we get more into watching basketball or some other topics. But these are the ones that I had for today, and we'll see what you guys got. Spoiled AVIP Gaming says, nah, just rebuilding Saints fixed our cap in 2 years. I don't care if 2 years from now. What are you doing next year?
Hey, and they're saying that the Saints have made an offer for Stafford. So that should be interesting too to watch out for. Stafford to the Saints.
Ooh, interesting. Kevin Harvick says, but if you sign Dak to that contract and don't win a Super Bowl, then you are screwed. I don't know which one he's talking. If you're talking about me, 4 years of 20 million, like anywhere from 20 to 27 million. That's what the first 4 years would look like, and then it's not until year 5 that it bumps up to 40. And at that point, the cap hopefully has grown large enough where you can still fit the other guys under your cap, and that would be my ordeal. Any thoughts on that?
I was thinking about 4 years, 150.
4 years, 150. No.
Probably give him $100 million guaranteed.
Oh my God, you don't. Do you know how much a year you just offered him?
How much? 37?
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Well, if up front, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Front. Because I gotta look at the cap space in which we have like 30. I can't give you 30, not this year, Dak. I can take. All right, listen, Dak. I got you on a 30, year 3, year 4. Well, these first, 2 years, can you know what I mean?
Oh my God, you're
that's
hilarious.
Gonna hurt.
All right, Redskins 7. You can't spend $40 million on a QB if you want to keep your defensive line. We're going to with the People's Champ Heineke, and maybe pick up a Stafford if we're lucky, but not likely. That's what Redskins 007's take is. Thank you, Redskins 007, for stopping by again. But see, it's not until year 5 or 6. Okay, the cap space is going to definitely increase after that. Definitely increase. Sportstakes Gaming says, why we can't. Wait, we can trade for him and draft QBs. I'm okay with that. I like that. Anyone want to watch a team rebuild stream? We're going to follow the people watching them. I'm not sure if anybody, but hey, if you want to hit up Spoiled's stream, go ahead. Anthony Johnson, what do you think about Alan Lazard? Go ahead.
My thing was, you get you a number 2, maybe a Corey Davis, maybe an Allen Robinson, something like that, and sign Lazard as your 3 and have Kelvin Harmon over there because Kelvin Harmon more than likely he's not gonna play. He's gonna have to be limited throughout the whole year because he's gonna have some swelling. It might be a situation like Bryce Love, where the swelling was just always a problem. So you bring in Lazard to fill that hole. You got, Terry, Corey Davis, or Allen Robinson, Lazard. Those are big bodies. Well, not lesser than Terry, but that's a big body Allen Lazard to throw to. He can catch, he can run, he go deep. Allen Lazard, I love it. And you get him on a cheap, probably like $4 million.
Potentially. Or maybe like a $6 million a year, $7 million a year, where the first year is maybe 4, and then it gradually goes up after that, maybe a 3-year deal. Yeah, I agree with you. I like Allen Lazard. As soon as I found out he was 6'5", he intrigued me as far as a very interesting number 2. Huh?
He runs a 4.5 too?
Yeah, he runs a 4.5 and he's 6'5". I like that. Asamor says, "Hey Tim, would you mind Derek Carr for the price that we would have to pay?" Also, he's a high cap number this year too. I think he's around 30 mil. Yeah, I would mind. I do not want to trade for Derek Carr and pay him a big deal. That doesn't seem right. Matthew Stafford's a much better quarterback than Derek Carr. Derek Carr's fine. He's a good quarterback, but not for that price.
No pick for him. Heck no.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Finally, Spoiled Streamed. Kevin Harvick says, "I would sign Dak to a 5-year, $135 million deal." Yeah, he's not taking that. He's not taking that. That's not even $30 million a year. I would like that. I would love that opportunity, but that's not even $30 million. He's not accepting that.
Dude, you know what I do? I'd be like, listen, you take this, you win the Super Bowl, we add on to what you got.
I don't know how that works.
We can add because you could put some incentives on it.
Right, but does that hurt against your cap at all? I don't know how it works, but that's interesting.
But you don't know when he's going to win the Super Bowl. Let's say he do it 2 years from now. Look, you still. So I put in incentives. I give you extra $10 million. You win the Super Bowl.
Kevin Harvick says it's $27 million a year. Yeah, Dak's not accepting anything less than $30 million a year long term this year. He's talking 35, 40 million.
30 million with somebody else, especially like us.
Only reason I'm trying to get him at 30 million a year is because I'm willing to sign him to so many years, and that's how I get that $150 million guarantee. That's why Pat Mahomes signed. He was getting a 12-year deal, 10-year extension, $50 million a year, but he's not getting a big payday until like year 5 or year 6. Like a lot of those early years are a lot less, and also he's only getting like $150 million guaranteed. Like he's not getting like 300 of that $500 million guaranteed. It's only like 150 guaranteed. So I would like. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, but no. Anyway, that's the only reason why I think we may be able to get him at $30 million a year, is because he wants 35, 40. But if we sign him to such a long deal, maybe we can get away with it because we would be able to guarantee him so much more of that money. But that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, Redskins episode said Stafford always killed us in the fourth quarter. He's killed us many years in the fourth quarter. He really has.
I want Stafford.
Stafford owes the Redskins. He'll come here. That's a funny one, Redskins episode.
Got you, Chris. Gonna hate me, so don't visit the stream, Chris.
Oh, God. Plus, the GM picked him. Yep, that's true. So
he's not coming here.
He's on the phone with him right now. Washington rebuild. Is Spoiled going live on YouTube? No, I think it's on Twitch. Okay, someone name a team y'all want to see a rebuild. It's on Twitch. I'll drop a link here. I don't think you can drop a link here. You could drop it in the Discord, Spoiled. I think they block all links on the YouTube chat. All right, cool. Well. All right, I think that's about wraps it up. We'll be here back next week with the live stream for the Chris and Tim podcast. That's what we're calling it for now. Who knows what we'll name it in the future. But we'll also be live Well, I'll actually be live tomorrow on the DMV Sports Zone channel tomorrow. Me and Nadi will be together tomorrow. Probably maybe streaming on my channel as well. We'll see. But definitely be on his channel tomorrow. So that'll be fun. It's actually, I think it's just going to be me and him. I don't think he has anybody else scheduled for tomorrow. And then as far as when is our next stream for us, are they doing a Pro Bowl this year?
No, they're not.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm not sure. We may go live on Sunday or something to watch a basketball game or two or something like that, depending on the schedule. Who knows? Keep an eye out on that Discord. We'll announce things over there. And then I'll be live next Monday for a basketball for sure. I'm going to start Mondays and Thursdays. As long as something else doesn't come up, I'll do basketball streams, get more into basketball, and then we'll be back next Wednesday. Anything else you got over there? What's coming up on the Jeris Sports Takes channel? You just dropped a Derek Carr vid, you said earlier today.
Yeah, I'll probably get into Aaron Rodgers and probably some basketball. And man, I might drop a game preview for the Super Bowl. Or I might do something special for Super Bowl week or something like that. Because I don't know if they doing press conferences like they used to, but we'll figure it out.
Fair enough.
I mean, come up with some other kind of stuff for like a Sam Darnold, Deshaun Watson, Drake, stuff like that. So
a lot of options out there for quarterbacks for sure. Yeah, we may have to drop a bunch of videos of just our thoughts on where QBs are gonna go. Try to get some vids out there, some views and some subs. But okay, how about 5 years, $160 million for Dak? That's a little over, it's like 32 mil a year.
That's perfect.
That's interesting. It's a little better. It's definitely better than your first one. I don't know if he'll sign that or not. Because it depends on the guarantees. How much of that are you guaranteeing? 125, 130?
Guarantee 100.
No, he's not accepting that. He already turned down like 107 guaranteed the year before.
110.
I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows? For the Super Bowl, we give you the whole bit. We'll give you the whole thing you win the Super Bowl.
I think it's probably going to be like 125, 130. That if you give him that deal minimum, that's going to be the starter, and he might want more than that. I don't know. He better not go to the Cowboys if Stafford goes to the Cowboys. Who knows? But all right, guys, we will be here next time. And until next time.
Until next time.
See ya!